Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm annoying. So I didn't realize that because I haven't seen sunlight in so long, that I didn't know, the days were going by. Um, but anyway, um, I have been lost in a world of Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries on my PS4. The game is awesome. I've been playing it nonstop, and I haven't been bored of it yet. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. But yeah, I haven't been outside in a while. But anyway, that's not true. I was playing hacky sack. Well, as you guys know, I play hacky sack. I went to college, and the easiest way to tell someone went to college is if they're good at hacky sack and drinking. I excel in both. Um, but yeah, I hurt myself playing hacky sack by myself because I don't have any friends, so I was just playing by myself and hurt myself. So it feels like I strained my groin. Too bad I couldn't strain it in a fun way, like the kind of way that you have to pay with either Coke or cash. Um, so I mean, if you're listening to this, you use social media probably, or most likely. Well, I consider YouTube social media, but anyway. So the Elon Musk bought Twitter. We all know that it's, you know, whatever. Um, I can't analyze or overanalyze the move of him buying Twitter like everyone else is doing. When I mean everyone else, I mean all the mainstream media and the independent media, the independent news sources that I go to. That's where I get my news from, like real news, news that's doesn't lean left, doesn't lean right. They just tell the news because you know, like just telling the news makes you special these days because every news organization is just a megaphone for the party that they want to shill for whatever. But anyway, um, Elon Musk is a rich guy. He owns Twitter. Mark Zuckerberg is a rich guy. He owns Facebook. Uh, okay. Just think of every newspaper. Like, someone owns that. Like, people own things. Some of the things people own are like huge corporations or, Facebook or, just whatever. Um, so I just found it funny that when Elon Musk owns Twitter now, well, I guess it's not official, but I was told that it'll take about 6 months, something like that, because the money has to be transferred. But anyway, something like that. It doesn't matter. And I think, oh yeah, like Jeff Bezos, I think he owns is it the New York Times? The guy who owns Amazon owns a major newspaper. Sorry, I forgot the name of the newspaper. Not important, but he owns a big publication. Okay, but I like it, or people are freaking out that Elon Musk owns Twitter now because he wants free speech. Free speech means within the law, like you can't like you can't slander and call for someone's beheading in the in downtown Culver City. You know, so free speech doesn't mean you can go, hey, I want everyone to rise up and whatever, burn down your city. Like that's illegal. A lot of people don't realize that free speech it just means that you can talk about the government. You can like speak freely about the government and not worry about being persecuted. That's what free speech is. So if like whatever, Joe Biden, the most popular president ever, who won the election legitimately, okay, fair and square, nothing fishy happened. I would never question the results of the most popular president ever, who's doing a great job. The economy's booming right now. Inflation's a good thing. In fact, I'm gonna call it what the president's calling it: Putinflation. Anyway, I digress. Uh, People are freaking out, or leftists are freaking out because Elon Musk said he wants free speech. So the people freaking out are saying, "Oh, he must mean white supremacy, or just other racist stuff, or misinformation stuff." Which um, I just love it because other billionaires. Oh, and they're also saying a billionaire can't own a social media network, but then like you have other billionaires that own social media networks and like magazines and newspapers. It's just because by him saying free speech, it makes other people freak out because free speech means you can't control the narrative, and that's what the left does. So it's just great that they're telling on themselves. And then the reason why I'm actually recording this podcast is because well, first of all, I realized I hadn't done one in a while because I didn't realize days had gone by because I've been living in video game land. But anyway, and also the best of is still going on. Are you guys enjoying the best of when I have spare time podcast? If you are, let me know. Leave a comment. Tell me. Cause I don't even know if people like the best ofs. You know, pick the so-called 20 best shows of each season. I think I'm doing you a favor. Anyway, I digress once again. Um, so you know, when there's free speech on Twitter, the only thing he meant, well, because he said this, is just you know, it won't be tilted. It won't be a leftist echo chamber, basically. So basically, like if you're on the other side of the political spectrum, you'll be able to talk and not get banned. That's all. I don't know what people thought it meant. Well, I just told you what they thought they meant. A lot of them are like white supremacy and just medical misinformation. But um, medical misinformation, the definition has been changed. So if you question the narrative, it's called medical misinformation, which is ridiculous. So um, but anyway, the whole point is, the Senate, Congress, whatever, wants to have a meeting with Elon Musk and demand to know what he's gonna do with Twitter. Can you believe that? Yeah, Congress. Congress wants to have. I don't know what it's called, but the Congress is debating whether to call Elon Musk and find out what he's gonna do with Twitter. This is what I don't understand. And it's been obvious for the past 2 years, or not 2 years, yeah, 2 years, that the government loves wasting money. And it started with yeah, I'm trying to make sure I get the time right. It's been 2 years because it started with Trump putting out God. It started with Trump with his stupid stimulus checks, and then it continued with Biden with like leaving like $80 billion of military equipment in Afghanistan, and then him screwing up the just the workforce with and the supply chain, just all these things by with his stupid lockdown rules. It's just been making the economy crash. It's like for the past 2 years we've just been like wasting money, and so now we're gonna waste resources and call Elon Musk in front of Congress to ask him what he's gonna do with Twitter because you're pissed that you can't use Twitter as a megaphone for the Democratic Party. That's a waste of money. You have Twitter, like all these congressmen have Twitter. Just just message the guy, tag him in a post. Go at Elon. What are your plans with Twitter? Whatever. Senator from Delaware, I don't know, whatever. Senator from Florida. Like, what are you doing? He he's a guy who bought a business. That's all he did. That's not against the law. I mean, if this country still believes in capitalism, and then you have some political people going, we have to make like laws so speech on the internet is controlled. You have other senators going, we have to tax the rich. So, because basically they're mad that Elon Musk had enough money to buy Twitter, so they're like, we don't tax the rich. And I mean, just all these. You know who should be called in front of Congress? Joe Biden for leaving $80 billion worth of military equipment in Afghanistan. That's maybe something. I would like to see that being questioned by Congress, or uh, or calling Joe Biden in front of Congress to talk about why he shut down most of our oil production. So now we're dependent on foreign countries when the president before had had other countries dependent on us. You should call the current president in front of Congress and ask him why is he purposely implementing policies that are hurting America. Like, Biden's doing stuff that could be considered treason, but we're worried about Elon Musk, a billionaire, buying a business. It just makes no sense. But then it also shows you like what's important to them. These politicians don't care about the little guy. And this is another thing that doesn't make sense. Twitter has, and I'm rounding up. Twitter has 400 million users worldwide. Okay, the planet has I think 7 billion people. 400 million of them use Twitter. That's actually not a lot of people. That's not a lot. 400 million out of 7 billion. That's nothing. So there's 400 million people. Well, no. I think there's 330 million people in the United States of America. Okay? Worldwide, 400 million people use Twitter. Okay? So Twitter, like, people are acting like Twitter is like the, end all be all of like brainwashing. It doesn't have the a big reach actually. And then remember like it's and I'm just reading off stats here that are public, okay? But like 10% of Twitter users make up for 90% of the post. So who cares if I don't know, it just doesn't make sense why Congress or just anyone in general is worried that Elon Musk bought Twitter when they're not worried about every other business that is owned by someone. And they're giving Twitter too much credit on its influence. Now, the Hunter Biden laptop story that was suppressed. Well, obviously it was suppressed because the people who were in charge of Twitter wanted Joe Biden to win. So they just did what anyone would do. Humans like to abuse power. So it is what it is. But it's like I knew that the Biden laptop was real. But the thing is, on social media, like on YouTube, Facebook, if you were caught talking about it, because here's the thing, like I mean, even me, like I talk in code a lot because YouTube has taken down like a how many of my videos has YouTube taken down? I don't know, like 6 videos, I guess. And that's but the thing is, the beauty about the English language is that like words change their meaning quick because slang and whatnot. Like Karen was used to be just someone's name, but now Karen is a like Karen used to be a noun. But now Karen is an adjective now. Like the human language can change, and then like when you ban a word, just another word replaces it. So like like you say womanist, like instead of feminism, you say womanism because YouTube doesn't like it when you talk about feminism. So you say womanism, but people know what you're talking about. So, but anyway, the thing I'm trying to say is these congressmen, these politicians are out of touch. I don't think Twitter influenced the election because not that many people use Twitter. That's what, like normal people don't use Twitter. 400 million people worldwide use Twitter. Once again, not a lot. And so, yeah, a percentage of that is American people, but how many of them are of voting age? How many of them base their, decisions on what's trending on Twitter or what stories there or not there? Now, if you want to blame, the election being influenced by the suppression of information, the people you would want to blame is actually the U.S. government itself, not Twitter. You got to blame the FBI for withholding the FBI had the laptop for a long time before they had to make it public because Rudy Giuliani made it public. So they had to make it public. They held on to that for a long time before saying anything because the FBI is corrupt too. So they wanted, Biden to win. So I just think they're making a big deal about Elon and saying that, we have to have him in front of Congress. They made up a like internet safety committee. The reason why they're doing all this is just because it's just more control. It's more government intervention. Like they they want to make more committees. They want to do investigations. Like they want to flex their power. It's the same thing with like wearing a mask. The masks don't work. There's been several studies, and it's like I just went with the study that Stanford did like 2 years ago when this whole thing first started, and Stanford said the masks don't work. And then right after the Stanford, and once again, this is stuff you can look up on your own, do your own research. And then right after the Stanford research, there was a research in Japan, and they're like the masks don't work. But then like some random guy, Dr. Falsey, says wear a mask one day, but then don't another day, and then wear one another day. We're just gonna go by what he says, just 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 because it makes no sense. Like if you want to wear a mask if it makes you feel comfortable. But the virus is 1,000 times smaller than the holes in the mask. So why don't you do the smart thing and work on your immune system? Get healthy, lose weight. That's the best way to beat this fantasy flu. That's the best way to stay healthy in general. Yes, I'm giving medical advice. A good diet and exercise. I know, sounds crazy. Sounds crazy. But you know what a good diet and exercise does? Keeps your body healthy. Your body's not trying to, fight off all the crap you put inside of it. Instead, it's using it as fuel. The less processed the food you eat, the better, which means just don't eat processed food. You want to live a better life? Always try to lose 20 pounds. Because if you try to lose 20 pounds, you're going to, start living in a way that's healthy. Because the only way you lose weight is to eat healthy and, it's to exercise a little bit, eat less, move more. Oh my God, this is groundbreaking. So why is Congress trying to do all this bullshit over a platform that has really, and I really think this, no influence. But the thing is, the news. See, the problem is the news because the news quotes Twitter like it's the gospel. So because the news keeps using Twitter to promote their agenda, that's what's giving Twitter power. And so now that Elon Musk is like, we want to have free speech on the platform, there's going to be more stories that are, you know, well, not leftist, propaganda stories. And so, instead of like, whatever, I can't think of anything that the left wants. Oh yeah, like teach kids about like transgender stuff. Like the parental rights bill in Florida. So it's like Twitter can have something trending like whatever, like your kids should be. I can't say that. Never mind. But the point is, if Elon Musk takes over Twitter, it's going to take away the quote unquote headlines that Twitter can produce to be shown on the news. That's the real reason why they're mad. Because Twitter itself doesn't do anything. But it's the importance that the media uses Twitter to promote the message. And the message is very left leaning. Very left leaning. Like, it's disgusting, actually. Anyway, um, it's painful when I have when I do a podcast and I don't talk about snorting coke off of hookers, isn't it? Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.